Listen, so these recent fight announcements, obviously they've had most of us outraged, feeling like the UFC is rage baiting us, wondering what the hell the decision making is from the UFC. And it kind of got me thinking, and ultimately I came to this realization that the UFC's been doing this. This is nothing new. They've been doing this crap forever. They really have. So I thought it only appropriate to make this video. This is the most undeserving title shots in recent memory. I'm only going to do like the last couple years because I'm sure I could go back 10 to 15 years into the vault and find terrible title shot, undeserving title shots back then. But we're only going to do the last 2 to 3 years. Starting off with the first one. Some of these aren't too bad, but they are undeserving nonetheless. Starting with Kaikar Franz Pantoja. Not horrible, but again, I don't think he deserved it. You look at him coming off the loss to Brandon Moreno. Even before that fight, he had a really close fight with the undefeated Askar Askarov, who's no longer in the UFC. Split decision loss to Albazi. I do think that was a robbery. But again, nonetheless, I feel like the UFC would be like, well, a loss is a loss, right? Gets it, comes back. I mean, this is a year, too. This is like, he beats Albazi, right? 2023. Comes back a year later, knocks out Steve Erceg, gets a title shot against Pantoja. Undeserving, not terrible, but still, I don't think he deserved to fight for it at that point. I think he should have got one more, gotten on a win streak at least. Next, Umar Nurmagomedov, Merab Dvalishvili. Okay, so, dude, one ranked win, he gets thrown in with Merab. Meanwhile, Merab is winning the belt at the Sphere over Sean O'Malley in the first fight. Has to turn around like 4 months later, fight Umar Nurmagomedov, who, fought a month before him, so gets more time to rest. He's coming off one ranked win. Before that, it was Beksat Almakhan, a hard-fought decision, got dropped in that fight, and then, ended up winning a decision. Schooled Corey Sandhagen, gets the title fight. I don't believe I've ever seen somebody get one ranked win and then get to go fight for a world title. Truly crazy. This one's a little bit worse than the Kaikar France one, in my opinion, because I just don't think, I could be wrong. Let me know in the comments if I'm wrong, but I think this is the first guy to get only one ranked win and then go get to fight for the belt. So, pretty crazy stuff. Now, again, he is a tough dude. We've seen, how he's performed in his recent fight, how I think he's going to perform moving forward, how he performed in the Merab fight. He gave a really good account of himself in that fight. I do think eventually this guy will be champion, but at the time, dude, one ranked win getting a title shot is absolutely just diabolical. Sugar Sean O'Malley getting the immediate rematch against Merab Dvalishvili. Okay. So Merab beats this guy September in the Sphere, goes and defends his belt against Umar Nurmagomedov in a hard-fought 5-round decision. Meanwhile, Sugar Sean O'Malley gets to sit on the sidelines for 9 months, comes back, fights Merab in a rematch. The level of just favoritism from the UFC with some of these guys. You see it. They're trying to do the same shit with Diego Lopez, some of these other guys that we're seeing, Paddy Pimblett. They're trying to do that. And the fact that this guy just got to get an immediate rematch like he was some sort of great champion was insane, because he wins the belt over Aljamain Sterling. Legendary win. I'll give him that one. First title defense is Marlon Chito Vera, a guy who has never even been remotely close to top 5 caliber. Loses his belt. I went back and rewatched that first fight. I think Merab won 4-1, dude. I think Merab absolutely I wouldn't say dominated, but clearly won almost every single round of that fight. And to give an immediate rematch, like, dude, the UFC was just praying to God that this guy somehow just chinned Merab. Now that dream is dead. He's never going to beat Merab. He is a legit dude, but at the time it was like crazy to see this rematch. Dustin Poirier, Islam Makhachev. So, let me set the scene for you. So, UFC 300, Arman Sarukian got the split decision over Charles Oliveira. It was unanimous. He beat the shit out of him on the ground. Elbowed the fuck out of his head. I'm going to die on that hill too. So he beats Charles Oliveira, and then Jesus, I almost said Gaethje. Dustin Poirier comes back after the knockout loss to Justin Gaethje. Knocks out Benoit Saint-Denis in March. This was before Arman Tsarukyan, so Arman Tsarukyan fights a month after. They offer Arman the title shot on about, I think it was a month and a half notice. He turned it down, of course, because dude, taking short notice fights for the title is never a good decision. Never a good decision. So, of course, he turns it down. So the UFC says fuck it and offers Dustin, who's coming off a one-fight win streak, a title shot. Not only it was a one-fight win streak, you look at his decline starting really after he knocked Conor out and beat him for the second time. That was when he was on this streak, right? He was coming off the Conor wins. He got to fight for the belt against Oliveira, got choked out, came back, beat Michael Chandler. That win doesn't really carry much weight, in my opinion, anymore. Gets head kick KO'd by Justin Gaethje. Beats an out-of-the-top 10 Benoit Saint-Denis. And then gets a title shot. Crazy stuff to see. Especially considering the fact that this guy already fought for the belt twice before this Islam fight. Twice. This was his third title shot. And coming off a one-fight win streak. Crazy, man. It's crazy how much they favor some of these guys. Totally undeserving. Even back then, dude, you look at Arman. These guys have always been trying to stiff Arman. And this is just proof, dude. Arman will go out, win a big fight. He'll win a big-ass fight. And then they immediately will, offer him, a short notice, opponent. Well, I don't think they didn't do it after the Qatar fight. But they'll offer him, a short notice. Jesus, my mic can't stay up. They'll offer him a short notice. They offered him a short notice opponent here. Of course, any fighter in their right mind who's going to go fight for a world title against Islam Makhachev is not going to take it on short notice. Dustin Poirier took it on short notice, and look what happened. He got choked the fuck out and lost almost every single round of that fight. Probably did lose every single round, in all honesty. So then Arman gets passed up for that one. Gets the title shot eventually. And then, things are the way they are. Which apparently, on the topic of Arman, this is just a side note. Apparently, he knew that they were trying to do Ilia Topuria, Paddy Pimblett, before he even had signed to fight Dan Hooker. So the UFC has known about this for a while. Doesn't make it much better, in my opinion. It's bullshit. I will die on that Paddy Pimblett not being deserving of this shit hill. I will debate anybody on YouTube over that shit. Hands fucking down. I'm sorry. You have a win over Michael Chandler, dude. Ooh. You have a win over a washed Michael Chandler who's been in the UFC 5 years, who's won 2 fights. One was against Tony fucking Ferguson, dude. Give me a break. After you go back, he beat Bobby Green when Bobby was ranked 15. He beat Bobby Green when he was ranked 15. Literally within a couple months after getting that ranking spot, he moved up to 12. You cannot tell me that they aren't trying to gradually rise him up the rankings without doing shit. That's the formula for success these days in the UFC. You win a good fight. You win a big fight, and then you sit on your fucking ass. And, here's the first thing. You got to be marketable. You got to talk that shit. You got to be a big draw. And then you just go and win a big fight, and then you sit on your ass and just wait to be levitated up the rankings. Don't go take other fights, dude. That means nothing, dude. I mean, look at the featherweight division. Fucking guys like Movsar, who's undefeated, and guys like Lerone Murphy are coming off massive win streaks. They're undefeated in the UFC. UFC doesn't give a shit, dude. You just need to sit tight, sit on your butt, win a big fight, sit on your butt, wait. And a lot of these other guys, that was the story of their career too, man. And I'm going to get into that. Charles Oliveira, Ilia Topuria for the vacant lightweight title. I'm sorry, dude. Charles did not deserve this shit. Second time they fucked Arman over. Right? You offer him the short notice against Islam after UFC 300. I mean, dude, it was 2 months from then. God damn. Okay, there we go. Undeserving. Loses a split decision to Arman Tsarukyan. I'm sorry, dude. I don't think that fight was that close. I do think he had Tsarukyan in some dangerous positions, but he clearly lost the fight by unanimous decision, in my opinion. Comes back again and beats Michael Chandler. Michael Chandler is just this recurring theme of, he's apparently such a big name that getting a win over Michael Chandler sets you up for a title fight. Paddy Pimblett coming off the win over Michael Chandler now gets to fight for the interim. At least it's the interim and not the world title. But according to Arman Tsarukyan, they were trying to give him that world title fight with Ilia Topuria. So, I mean, dude, if I'm a lightweight right now, I'm calling Michael Chandler out getting that fight because I know, hey, it might lead to a title shot if I beat that guy. Coming off that win, dude, 5-round decision, and then he gets to, again, jump Arman and fight for the belt. Didn't deserve it. I am a big Charles Oliveira fan. I do think he, especially in his last fight against Gamrot, looked fucking phenomenal. He's still one of the best in this division, hands down. Word is they're trying to make the Holloway fight, and I honestly think he fucking smashes Max Holloway this time around. I really do, and I respect Holloway. I think he wins that fight. But again, this title shot, very, very undeserving. Got to skip the queue, got gifted that title fight. I know he was ranked pretty highly. He's got some solid wins over ranked people in the division. Top 5 people currently. But again, it didn't make a lot of sense. Okay, Colby Covington, the man, the myth, the legend. This dude is the welterweight Cyril Gane. He has the hack for infinite title shots. No matter what, dude. So the first time he fought Kamaru Usman, he was the interim champion. He was on a big win streak. It was deserved. After that, you look at his career through the years. Loses to Kamaru Usman. Gets finished by Kamaru Usman. Okay? Sits out about December 9 months. Comes back, fights Tyron Woodley, who at the time, you have to give him that win. Tyron Woodley this was his first fight back after losing the belt. He was still highly ranked. He was number 1 contender. Colby Covington went in there and smashed him. Cool. Sits out. Okay, I'm sorry, but again, that's still not enough in my opinion to warrant you getting back in there with the champion. He fucking sits around for literally a year and a half after that and somehow gets another title fight to headline Madison Square Garden against Kamaru Usman. Loses that fight in a competitive decision. Close fight. Kamaru, I think, edged it 3-2. Very, very close competitive fight. Comes back actually pretty quick after that. Beats Jorge Masvidal. And then again, sitting out for a year and a half. Gets the Leon Edwards fight. Despite the fact that Belal Muhammad was on a big win streak. He had the no contest with Edwards. But besides that, he hadn't lost in years. It was like a 9-fight win streak. They even had set him versus Gilbert Burns. And I think a lot of people forget this. Short notice on this card. It was to save I can't remember what card it was. It was to save one of the cards. Belal Muhammad, Gilbert Burns stepped up on short notice. And the UFC promised the winner of that fight the next title shot. Colby Covington weighs in as a backup fighter for... was it Leon Edwards? I think it was Leon Edwards, Kamaru Usman, I believe it was Leon Edwards, Kamaru Usman. He just decides to fucking fly across the country on 48 hours notice, make weight to be the backup fighter for that. Why didn't you call Belal Muhammad? Why didn't you call Belal for that fight? Makes weight, and somehow him making weight Dana White just allowed him to skip the queue and get a third fucking title shot coming off a 1-fight win streak, dude. Crazy. 100% Colby Covington is the welterweight Cyril Gane. Jorge Masvidal, Kamaru Usman, the second fight. Now, the first fight, I do think Jorge deserved it, right? He was on that streak. He was coming off the knockout of Ben Askren with the flying knee. Beat Nate Diaz for the BMF. He had a knockout win over Darren Till. No problem with the first title fight. It was on short notice. And this guy fucking used that to his advantage to leverage himself and do an immediate fucking rematch for the title with Kamaru Usman. Because the whole thing about the first fight, it was on short notice and on Fight Island, man. I wasn't in good shape. I took that on 7 days notice, man. But you couldn't do that shit to me on a full fight camp. I'm sorry, my Jorge accent's terrible. But he used that so much and he pissed Kamaru off, got into his head so much with that. The Kamaru Usman kept calling him out. They give this guy the immediate rematch, and he gets fucking slapped out cold in Florida. I can't remember what part of Florida it was. That was like Kamaru Usman's like only fucking knockout too. I'm sorry, like crazy work to just get. I mean, you're seeing the narrative here though. Look at what do all these guys have in common? They're, these guys that keep getting title shots. They're big draws, dude. I'm telling you right now. Fuck hard work. Fuck win streaks. Fuck fighting the best anytime, any place, anywhere. No. Just occasionally fight the best and then sit on your ass for a year. Talk shit on social media. Get into the champ's head. Talk shit to the champ. Build a good following on social media, and you don't have to work half as hard as these dudes with these big win streaks. Israel Adesanya, Dricus du Plessis. Look, Izzy was a great champ. This shit, nah. Didn't deserve it, because you look at the Pereira loss, was winning the fight, got TKO'd by Pereira. You could say questionable stoppage. Gets the immediate rematch. 100% agreed with that. You're a great champion who was coming off of like 4 or 5 title defenses. Absolutely get him back in there, see what he can do, especially considering the fight was pretty close, right? Right after that, loses to Sean Strickland, gets absolutely fucking demolished, dude. Now, if it was just like a fact of he was winning the fight, he was piecing Sean Strickland up, styling on him, and then got knocked out or something, okay, maybe you could have justified, that fight with Dricus a bit more, but the fact that he got absolutely fucking dominated, and like literally 2 fights before that, got TKO'd by Pereira, gets to sit out for an entire year, come back, fight Dricus just because of that fucking interaction they had after Dricus beat Robert Whittaker. Absolutely insane, completely undeserved. Fucking, you should have just, Robert Whittaker lost to him, so couldn't really put Robert Whittaker in him. I don't know. I can't go back that far and look at the rankings right now. But again, rough one, dude. Rough one. Probably, I don't know. Yeah, probably one of the worst I've seen, for sure, Especially losing 2 out of your last 3 fights and getting fucking demolished by Sean Strickland, sitting out an entire year, and then anybody thinking that you were going to fucking come back. The fact that there was people who thought Izzy was just going to come back after losing 2 of his last 3, getting dominated by Strickland, and was going to beat Dricus, like, I want what you're smoking. Seriously. Crazy work. Okay. Light heavyweight, Khalil Roundtree, man. I had to get... Oh, this actually looks pretty good. Never mind. Khalil Roundtree fighting Alex Pereira. I mean, it was kind of a tricky division at the time, because I think after he was coming off back-to-back wins over. He beat Yuri Prochazka, then he beat Jamal Hill, then he beat Yuri Prochazka again. I get it. There kind of wasn't really anybody super deserving of it at the time. Ankalaev probably should have been there, but Ankalaev kind of wanted to play hardball. But again, just sit the guy on ice. Don't have him fight Khalil Roundtree, dude. This was Khalil Roundtree's win streak coming in. Well, he had more wins than this. I just highlighted kind of the top. Anthony Smith. You got a title shot off of beating Anthony Smith. Before that, Chris Daukaus. Washed. Dustin Jacoby. Robbery decision, dude. He lost that fight. Pretty undeserving. However, he did make it a very competitive fight up until he got that nose smashed into oblivion by Pereira. Not a horrible one, but, it was like, looking at this, it was like, dude, what the hell is this? Like, Pereira coming off 2 former champions to Alex Pereira, whose best win in the UFC was Anthony Smith. I can't even say Lionheart because it's just going to make me laugh too much. All right, last but not least, dude, I don't even need to highlight this guy's opponents in here. The king himself, Colby Covington. All right, this guy was inspired probably by Colby Covington, dude. I think Colby Covington mentors Cyril Gane in how to get infinite title shots in the UFC. Dude, I had to go back here, man. You start with the Francis Ngannou one. Close competitive fight. I thought Ngannou, edged him 3-2. comes back, beats Tai Tuivasa, who was ranked third to be fair, and then gets to fight John Jones, bro. Gets to fight John Jones. Gets choked out in round 1. I don't think he landed a punch. Fights Sergey Spivak. I think after that, he thought he was just... I think I remember him saying the title shot is next after this fight. Somehow they got this idiot to come back. Wins a robbery decision over Alexander Volkov. And then obviously gets to fight Tom Aspinall right after that. Eye pokes Tom Aspinall. Dude, this guy sucks, man. Not as a fighter, but God, this guy is rough, man. Seriously, the level of fucking favoritism here, dude. Infinite title shots. Learn from the best, Colby Covington. Looking back, I don't know, man. They're pretty similar, man. Pretty similar, but I feel like Colby is kind of the godfather of just getting infinite title shots, right? And I think Colby's honestly worse than Cyril Gane. It'd definitely be between the two of them for who's the most fucking undeserving of title fights. I would say Colby Covington is probably in that S tier for infinite title hacks, undeserving title shots. I'd have to put him up there just because of the inactivity and all the shit talk. And then his last title shot, he literally fucking was out for a year and then just decided he was going to fly out to the O2, weigh in as a backup on short notice. And that just guaranteed him a lock for title shot. I got to put Colby Covington as the GOAT of undeserved title shots of all time. By far the worst. Cyril Gane's a close second. But again, as you can see, the UFC's been doing this a while. They're not going to quit doing it. The fights next month are good fights, except for the Lopez Volk one. That just sucks, dude. There's just no upside there. At least Paddy Pimblett Gaethje, while I'm pissed that Arman isn't in that spot, it's still a good fight. It's going to be an entertaining, sick fight. And then the division can move on from there. It's not, it's not going to be forever because Paddy's going to go in there, get chinned by Ilya afterwards. And then, Arman can, in the meantime, he can just fight somebody else or just wait for the winner of that, I guess. He is pretty accustomed to sitting out a while. So I just wanted to jump in here, highlight some of the worst UFC title fights in recent memory. Let me know some I may have missed that are within the last 3 years. Maybe some bad ones. I mean, maybe you can even drop some from 5 or plus years ago. Just let me know what, terrible title shots I may have missed in the video. If you liked it, drop me a like, subscribe to the channel. Till next time.